So how do you become pagan? How do you start with paganism? Well, first of all, I don't think that you can become pagan. I think all of us are born pagan, but then later on we're taught something else. And then we think that is real, and then we make that real. But when you take like a small child and you take him to nature, take him to a place like this, in the forest, and you go real early and you watch the sunset together, that child knows, it feels, and its soul knows, even if they don't consciously realize it, they know that what is happening when the sun rises, that there's something magical happening. It knows that magic happens every day, and it knows that the earth is sacred. It recognizes the beauty and the sacredness of the human experiences. Without any religious teaching, you're automatically a pagan. Pagan is still there. So when people ask, I want to become a pagan, where do I start? Do I read the Eddas? Do I start listening to Viking music? Do I start to drink meat all day? This is where you start. You start with you. You start with what works for you. So just go in the forest, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you watch that sunrise. And I could tell you to make a whole ritual out of it. Like the sunrise representing symbolically your rise and your new day as a pagan. But if I tell you to do that, then we're all humans, so our mind starts working, and you think like, oh, it's a ceremony, what should I wear, what should I bring, who should I offer to, should I do this, should I do that? And then it becomes all like this mental energy, really busy. And being a pagan is not always about mental stuff. Sometimes it's about something else. So if you want to know where to start, watch the sunrise. And maybe you have that experience where you greet the sun and you kind of feel it like the sun is part of you. And maybe you even feel like the sun greets you back and recognizes that you're part of it too. This part of going in nature is actually really important to the Native Americans, to the First Nations in Canada. In British Columbia, you even have a few tribes who, when a child reaches a certain age, they ask that child to find its spirit spot. And it could be a spot just like this, but it's a spot where everywhere around you, there's nature. If you look here, it's just nature, 360 degrees. And the child goes there and spends a lot of time, especially at sunrise. So they capture the beauty. And when they feel sad or when they have like bad stuff happening in their life, they can always go back to that spirit spot and reconnect with the magic of nature and open your heart once again. Reason I know this is because I visited a few of those First Nations, and they told me to do that for about 2 weeks. And when you go to this special place where there's only nature and you go there on sunrise, about a week and a half, something special happens. Because if you just sit there and you sit still, after about a week and a half, the animals, they recognize you. They're not like, oh, it's just that guy again, he just sits here every day at sunrise. So they leave you alone. So you just sit here and you feel the sun coming up, and you see the sun coming up, and you see just rabbits and deer just walking by. And you have this beautiful experience of you being part of nature. Nature is not something you look at, that nature is something that's inside of you, and you are part of that. So if it's at all possible, I would like to borrow that respectfully from nations like the Nisga'a in British Columbia and Canada. So, how did I get started with paganism? Well, when I grew up, I didn't quite feel at home. I didn't feel at home where I was born. I didn't feel at home at this planet. I didn't feel at home at all. I just saw a lot of stuff that was very wrong, that felt very wrong to me. Saw a lot of materialism, A lot of people just looking out for themselves and being assholes, basically. A lot of people getting hurt. So I started looking for other stuff. So I started looking for astrology, started looking for numerology. I got really good at numerology. Did like consults and workshops for about 10 years in psychic fairs, dance parties, and other locations. Did that for a while, and I kept searching, you know. So really got into Native American stuff. I want to say like really big thank you to Archie Fire Leemdeer and John Fire Leemdeer, the Lakota medicine man who like brought the Sweat Lodge to Holland. So they help us open our heart to nature, and I think the Native American stuff is a whole different video, but still to this day I'm very involved with a group who does traditional Lakota sweat lodges, because I think it's a good practice. There's also a period where I converted to Hinduism. Yes, I believed that the things I wanted couldn't be found here in the West. So I was ready to move, not to India but to Bali. So I actually got initiated to a priest in the north of Bali. Near Singaraja. That's a whole nother different video, I think. I lived like a Hindu for 3 years. But the problem with that was, you know, it doesn't matter if you move there, because I lived there for a year. You know, you're still the white guy. It doesn't matter if you speak the language, it doesn't matter if you have a house there, it doesn't matter if you're a priest, you're still the white guy. And when I came back to Holland, you know, you're still that guy that's always in Indonesia. So, you know, never really felt at home there either. And after a while I realized I'm even though I don't want to be it, I'm still a Dutch guy. I like my cheese sandwich. I like my broodje kaas. So after trying that for a couple of years, I came back to Holland, and it suddenly began to dawn on me, you know, I always had the runes, but I used the runes just like I would a tarot card deck. I just, you know, did a spread and it helped me understand myself, but suddenly there's a light that went on. I said, maybe, just maybe, these runes aren't just runes. These runes are alive and alive inside of me. And if I can use these runes, I can maybe use these runes to make the gods come out of my blood. Now, when you want to become like a Hindu, that's easy. When you want to connect with Native American tribes, that's also kind of easy, because there's a tradition there. And the way I feel it, it's like you have a little hook on your top chakra. And you just connect. You do go click, and you're in there, and you feel that way, and it's easy. But paganism, you want to get like traditional Dutch Germanic paganism, there isn't anything that's just there and you can connect to. You really have to resurrect the gods in the runes out of your own blood and manifest that energy so other people can connect to it. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I just figured at one point in my life, instead of just thinking, oh, Holland is terrible, let's just run away to another part of the world where it's better. I tried that, didn't work. Went to Canada for a while, didn't work. Went to Indonesia for a while, didn't work. So why not just don't run from it, don't fight it, but if you really be the person you need when you was younger. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to honor the old gods and honor the nature spirits and live by the stars and the calendar. So that maybe the people who are watching this don't have to like travel the world and do that stupid shit that I have to do. Maybe I can be that guy that I needed when I was younger. And have a place of authenticity when it comes to religion. That's basically my mission. I hope you join me, because I am certain that together we'll make Europe pagan again. Peace.